Good morning, traders. Welcome to the live trading room. I hope you are all doing well and you've had a great weekend. Right, let's get started. Just remember, we've got a chat room here on the website. The chat room, let's keep it only for technical questions. Any other administrative issue, you can refer them onto the global chat on the website. Any other technical issues on the chat room? Administrative issues, you can refer them here on the global chat. So let's not make a lot of traffic on the chat rooms. Chat of the week has been updated. You can check it out there. We will actually have a look at it in a bit. Right, so if you have not followed us on our Twitter page, please do so. Just follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. The reason why you need to do that is not that we get a lot of followers, because you guys are already here, is that you get notifications whenever we update the charts. Okay, so sometimes the charts are not going to be updated all at the same time. So we'll tell you that the 1 hour charts on this group of pairs has been updated. So you just have to go and have a look there. So that is how this is happening currently. Obviously, it has been the weekend. We have posted up all the charts that have been updated. So whenever charts updated, you can even put up a notification. We're gonna post it up there. So for example, last night, US dollar pairs were updated, so you'll get a notification there on Twitter. Then you can just go and check the updates or the new update on the US dollar pairs. And this was a before and after setup on silver, how that has played out. So when the cross pairs were updated, we're updating that on Twitter as well. So you can just, I think it's really going to help if you do follow that, then you'll be up to date all the time. Okay. Right. And if you do like, and if you can retweet the notifications as well and our chats as well there. Right. Let's get started. This is the same on our Facebook page as well. You can do the same on our Facebook page. Right. You see here, there's some people that need to be let in. Let's start with the analysis for this week. Any questions before we get started? Right. Everybody is happy. Let's get started with the live analysis. So this is the live trading room. We are looking for trade setups. We're looking for entries. We're looking for, we identify stop loss areas and take profit areas on the charts. When we get high probable setups, we post them up on the website under trade setups. Right, let's get started with Euro US dollar and the DXY. Let's start with Euro US dollar. So Euro US dollar has made this impulsive move over the last week. Does not look aggressive, but it looks like it's a 5-wave move. So for us to confirm any upside here, we need to get a confirmation here by getting a corrective structure here and then upside. So we already have that 3-wave pullback. You can check out on the chart on the website. We've got that 3-wave pullback. This is what we've been focusing. We've already got this move here. Are we going to get a corrective structure here and then upside? That corrective structure must come with this resetting here at the bottom. We already have this at the bottom. We've got the RSI still above 50. As long as it stays above 50, then that view is still valid on Euro US dollar. So that's what we're going to be watching out for. Do not take any trade here. Watch out for any corrective structure that we can get here on Euro US dollar. For now, we're just waiting and seeing what transpires there. The DXY. So on the DXY, same thing. So we'll be looking for this here to do that, any corrective structure here, and for this to come to the downside. Now, looking at the DXY, it's actually interesting. Let me just go back one on Euro US dollar here. Let's look at Euro US dollar. So Euro US dollar does not look as aggressive to the upside as DXY looks to the downside. So this is what we have here on the Euro US dollar. We are at the bottom, we're resetting the 50. So we're expecting this here. We're expecting this after the corrections. Okay. It's a nice setup, same as the DXY, but the DXY looks likely to push to the downside. The impulsive move to the downside looks pretty strong than this, obviously, with the naked eye, just looking at this. So we'll be looking for the DXY to do this and then downside. I don't see the DXY pushing up higher here. So if the DXY is going to push lower, then we're expecting the euro US dollar is going to push lower. So the reason why I'm saying the DXY looks more likely to push down than the euro US dollar is that the RSI here is still below 50 on the DXY, and on euro it is right at 50. That's the only thing that I'm seeing there. Can you see the difference there? So euro RSI is already at 50, the DXY is well below 50, so it is likely that this move, whatever correction we get here, we're gonna get the drop here. So keep an eye on this, watch this correction build up. We're already at the top here. We'll look for this, we'll look for that. Okay, so the DXY and the euro looking downside for the DXY. That means weakness on the US dollar and some strength on euro US dollar. Pound US dollar. So look here. So we're getting this impulsive move. We have not reached the blue box on pound US dollar. We're seeing what looks like a strong move. So don't just look at the candles and think that that is a reversal. If it is going to be a reversal, we'll have to see what structure it is forming before we get to this level here. So we are still looking for this to continue to the downside. This could very well be just a continuation pattern on the US dollar, pound US dollar, for continuation to the downside here. We're still well below 50. This is in the middle of nowhere. That does not tell you anything. But the structure and the sequence, we're focusing, as you've seen on the website a couple of weeks back, we said we want this to push up higher. We want this to come down here. It is playing out like that. We're still expecting that to continue to the downside. Let's put this on the 1 hour. Let's put this on the 1 hour. See if there's anything that we're seeing on the 1 hour. Nothing really on the 1 hour. We may get a three-wave pullback here. Is this a continuation pattern? But the RSI and the stock don't confirm anything. We are at the top here, but we're above 50. But the sequence is for us to come to the downside here. Okay, so that's what we want on US dollar, pound US dollar. Let's see here. Nothing much, no much difference between now and what we've forecasted yesterday. So let's just watch that for now. US dollar. Chief, if you get a trade set up for downside here, look to take it to the downside. Welcome, Keith. If you get a setup for downside here, 1, 2, whichever corrective structure plays out here, we'll be looking to take this one further down. Okay, so let's see how that plays out. The correction is still premature. It's not, there's nothing there. There's no such corrective structure. So this can still come take down the low here, push back up here, and then continue to the downside. So still weakness on US dollar chief, the same way we're expecting weakness on the DXY. That supports that 4 hour. Let's have a look on the 4 hour. It's already a big move to the downside. That's why we want a decent, deeper correct pullback here. We want to get a deeper pullback, something like this, before we continue to the downside. All right, that is US dollar chief, US dollar CAD. Let's have a look at US dollar CAD. There's a three-wave structure here. We looked at this to be a three-wave structure. This is going sideways as follows. Is this going to do this? If it does this, we may get this. So overall structure like this, which is a W, X, and a Y. So this is not really going anywhere, and it's going sideways. So even if we do get a push to the upside around those levels, come back down, one more up, and then downside, that will be this bigger corrective structure here, which will then be a bigger WXY corrective structure. So let's just watch this one. We know that we are only looking for downside on this one. Whichever corrective structure is going to play out here, we'll be looking for this one to continue to the downside. So for now, yes, it looks like we're going to push a little bit above here, but I don't really see this one going very far. Okay, unless we start going about well above 50 here, then that's going to invalidate the structure, but we are still bearish on US dollar CAD. Audi US dollar. We identified this one as a trade setup to get down onto the blue box. Let's switch this off here. So we wanted this to go into the blue box around these areas. Let's switch on here, see where the blue box is. That's where the blue box is. So the idea with that is for us to get 1, 2, 3 down, 1, 2, 3 up, and 1, 2, 3 down here at equal legs at 100% FIPS, and then upside. We're not at 100% as yet. This is not going aggressively. After it made this corrective structure, that it was just gonna run down into the blue box and then push to the upside. So right now we're still here, we're going sideways, it's not really going anywhere, but it is still very bearish as far as the indicator is concerned. The 4 hour is well below 50, we are below 50, although this is at the bottom here. So let's look at the 1 hour, see what the direction is in the 1 hour. So the 1 hour is showing us downside as well. As long as the RSI stays below 50 here, this should continue to the downside to our target around these levels. It's not as going as aggressive as when we took it in the beginning. Let's keep an eye on that. Not a good one anymore. New Zealand is also messy, because we're looking for New Zealand to give us this. After it made this 3 up, 3 down, and 3 up, we're looking for it to just drop here in a straight line. But it's not dropping like that. We are seeing what looks like another corrective structure here. So that corrective structure could be this 3 down here, and we could get another 1, 2, 3, another 3 down, or 5 down before we get one more up here. Okay, so let's see how this goes. So it doesn't look like the New Zealand can drop down into the blue box, although we're very close, but let's watch it. So if the forecast on Audi is for downside, we're still forecasting that this will also go to the downside. We just need to watch the structure and see how it drops from here. So the blue box is around here, and we're looking for a reversal from the blue box as follows. That's where the blue box is, very close. We'll be looking for this to drop down here in the blue box. That will be a, B, C corrective structure. So when you look at this, it looks like a 5-wave structure, 1, 2, 3. We are on 4, and we're looking for a 5 here. That 5 should come with divergence. We're already seeing divergences. Should come with divergence, and then we'll start seeing the reversal there. Okay, so that is New Zealand. Nothing much there. Let's keep an eye on that. US dollar ZAR. US dollar ZAR pulling back on the 4 hour. We're expecting a correction smaller than this, a pullback smaller than this, something like that, and then continuation to the downside. Don't forget live analysis of the, I think it's the US dollar pairs today at 11 a.m. GMT. Sandile will be hosting that. So we're still expecting this to continue to the downside after this. That is US dollars. So I don't have to go through all the pairs. I'm just scanning through here to see if there's any opportunities that we can take here. But at this point, the structures are still building up. Let's give it a bit more time to get some more data. Remember the forecast on pound yen. If this starts coming down here slowly like this, that would be a very nice opportunity to be looking to buy pound yen around these levels. Let's go to the website and have a look at the chart on pound yen. Let's look at the yen pairs. Pound yen, that is the forecast. So if you're getting a setup for downside on pound yen, just be very mindful that this is still against the trend. The trend is still this one. and we're still looking for this one to make one more push to the upside. So very likely that this can be an expanding flat or a running flat. That means it does not have to take the low if it makes a running flat, and we can push up from here. So either way, what we're going to wait for if it starts pushing up here is to see a confirmation for upside. We're still looking for this to go all the way up to 156, 159, those areas. So let's keep an eye on a pound yen. We're looking for this. US dollar yen. Just the indicator alone is showing us that from here, we are going to see this one continue lower, even if it is up to this level. Maybe a bounce here before we see continuation to the upside. We are at the top here and we are looking bearish. So on the 4 hour, we're going to see US dollar yen at least come back here from at around these levels. It's going down slowly, so that could just be from to get here. I don't expect it to go all the way like that. I'm expecting it to just crawl down to this level. If we're going to go at upside, should possibly be a three-wave structure for more upside. So let's wait for more data on that. Sit on our hands. You don't have to do anything at this stage. Euro yen. So euro yen, we are looking for a deeper correction here before a move to the upside. We could be getting this back to around the 50% of this whole move. So we'll be looking for euro yen to continue up higher like that. So we've shown this one yesterday during the weekly outlook as well, that the structure here on the daily has it ended. Let's switch off here so you can see only the structure. We were looking for this structure. These are three waves to the upside. Let's get it on one screen here. This is a daily chart. We are at the top. Looks like we are dipping below. We've got very strong divergence. So this, as much as we may see one more up here, there's a very likely that this has reached the end of the move here and we're going to start seeing downside here. Okay, so the structure here on euro yen is this on the daily. We have got 1, 2, 3 waves to the upside. And we've got what looks like an expanding flat there. Same thing, 1, 2, and 3. And it looks like we've reached the end of the move. I should have done this in 3 waves, like that. So that is what we have there. This is a flat, this is a zigzag. Now it looks like we've reached the end of the move. As you can see, we've got very strong divergence here. This has made a new high here. Was it confirmed? Let's just have a look here if that new high was confirmed here. From here, we actually make a new low. So from here to here, there was no divergence. We failed to break to the upside here. If we do break to the upside with the RSI looking like this, that is very strong divergence, and we're gonna see this one at least make a move back to the 50% of this whole move. That move will be a WXY corrective structure. I showed the long-term view on this one yesterday. So let's see here if we're gonna get one more up. So the likely thing to happen here, this here is ABC. Let's use a different color. This is an ABC corrective structure. As you can see here, this is an impulse, 5 waves. Another impulse, 5 waves. This is a WXY. These are 3 waves. This is likely to be another 3 waves. One more push to the upside, possibly come with divergence, that 3 waves there, before we start getting the drop. Now let's check where that move is supposed to end. I'm going to remove all of this. So this will be a WXY in the lower degree. If you've got that, I'm going to take this off just now. If that is the end of the move, we should have possibly here the blue box area for the WXY move, where this should start showing us the reversal. Let's project the blue box without taking that off. Let's project it. Start of the move, end of the move, and back. So it's the blue box. The blue box is out of the screen here. The blue box will be here. Okay, so that's where the blue box is going to be. I'm going to clear all this so I can bring it down. So as far as this is concerned, the blue box, we've not reached the blue boxes yet. The blue box is anywhere between these levels. So this is where we are expecting the move. I'm trying to grab the whole thing here. So this is what we're expecting here. So a pullback there, a pullback here, may do this. It just seems so far though. It's actually correct, however. So this is now correcting at the 0.618, as you can see. We know that if it starts correcting at the 0.618, then we are obviously going to look at this as the whole corrective structure here for the 0.618 and look for this one to rally back into the blue box. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That is what we're expecting here. So let's see, Euro pound may still push to the upside, but first we'll see this one push a little bit lower here before pushing up. So we'll be watching this level here. Sit on your hands right for now. See how that plays out. Chief yen. So we're expecting one more down on euro yen, but chief yen is not showing us. It's not showing us any downside there. So on chief yen on the daily, let's see if we're gonna get this one here to do this. Maybe that correction could be the one more down on the euro. Then we expect this to continue to the upside. This has made a nice zigzag here over the last couple of weeks. It has made a nice impulsive move. Any correction here, take it up higher. KDN, I'm on the daily. We're looking at this one. Yesterday, this one had made a bounce here, looking like it's going to go and make a running flat. It does not look like a strong move. This actually looks like a three-wave move, and we're still seeing continuation to the downside. All right. So let's check here on the 4-hour. 4-hour is actually a trade setup for downside. Now you need to manage this because at this level, this could be a continuation pattern. Let's take all of this off. Let's take all of this off. This can actually fool you into thinking that there's a trade there. There's a confirmation for downside, but remember the sequence is upside. 4 hours showing us that we're going to get at least back to this level as far as the sequence is concerned. We're seeing continuation there. If you want to take a risk here, you can take a risk, but move it to break even as soon as we get to this level. Because at this level, this can happen. Okay, this can happen. Why would that happen? Because this would be a flat correction. Let's go to the chart on the website. KDN. So that is the forecast. As you can see, this was yesterday already, And as you can see, this is already playing out. That's because we're still expecting this to play out. Now, even if we get this here, likely that this is going to bounce to the upside. So you can make that decision. All right, that is CAD yen, New Zealand. New Zealand, it's another one with a not such a clean trade setup because of this candle. So we can look at it to have broken here, but this candle is not making much sense in terms of structure. This would be a nice one confirmed on the 4-hour. We're actually going to look at it like that. Okay, so that is what we're looking at. So we're looking at this one to at least come down to around these levels. New Zealand yen is going to continue to the downside, not a clean structure. Maybe we can have one on Audi. Same thing on the Audi. So on the Audi, we've got this here. This can do that, and continuation to the downside to around these levels. Let's keep an eye there. Gold. Gold, we're expecting downside based on what we've got on the analysis on the charts. We're looking for this to make one more move to the downside before we push to the upside. Let's refer that to the chart on the site. The yen pairs analysis is already there, guys, from last week, so you can check it there. Let's go to commodities. That video is for the afternoon sessions. So the afternoon sessions, you'll find them here with the charts. Why am I on the chat room? I'm looking for commodities. Right, as you can see, the commodities videos, commodities and cryptos is also there. Next time you'll only find the commodities here without the cryptos. They will all be separate. Although it will be the same video, you'll find it on different pages. Gold, 4-hour. There's the analysis. We're looking at this sequence. I've shown this one yesterday. Look for this to continue to the downside. There's not even a trade setup. You can see we're focusing the continuation to the downside, but there's no trade setup for us to sell into the blue box. Let's go back here. Trade setup will come if we already have the impulse. If we start getting something like this here, then we'll look to take it to the downside. Let's go to the chart of the week. No, this one will be on the news. So 31st of March, we forecasted gold to rally down into the blue box. What we've since gotten was this here. And we're still looking for this to come down here. We've got the bounce, but we're still expecting this to come down into the blue box and then make a reversal. So that is how we're looking at gold. Let's keep an eye on it. Silver. It's coming down, but not aggressively. As we said yesterday, this could be a 3-wave pullback. And if we get a setup for downside, we'll look to take this. This is already dipping below 50. So let's see how this one is going to play out. The structure on silver hasn't changed. We are still looking for this big flat correction here on silver. Now on the daily, there looks to be a very nice setup on silver to drop down. There looks to be a very nice setup for silver to drop to the downside. We've seen that we focused that silver was going to push up from here. Could have made a running flat, but if you look at this daily here, this year, silver may be looking downside here at about 22. That's where we're going to look to start buying silver. Platinum. On the daily, let's go back to the 4-hour. We had a trade setup. Here, we bought platinum here, expecting it to go all the way from there, but we have seen that it only went 3 waves and now it's coming down here. It's 3 waves to the downside, expecting this one to push down to around the blue box area around these levels before pushing any further up higher. That is platinum. Look for continuation to the downside. Brent crude, back to the 4 hour. We've made 5 waves down. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Clear 5 waves. Now here we're making 1, 2, 3 waves to the upside. We've made 1, 2, 3 waves down. It looks like we're going to make another 1, 2, 3 down here. Let me clean this up so we can see the structure clearly. Let's focus the structure as follows. Let's make it complicated. Try to make it as simple as possible. So we've got 5 waves down here, as you can see. We have here in the red 3 waves to the upside. We have these 3 waves down. I'm going to use the different color for those 3 waves. These are 3 waves in green. Now let's see what we're going to get here in the green. If we're going to get this, then we're going to be a lot more sideways with this. So the longer oil stays sideways, the bigger the move to the upside when this structure is done. Okay, so let's keep an eye and see how this one is going to play out. So far, it looks like a WXY structure here as follows. So we'll be tracking this. Just to make sure that I write this correctly. If it's going to make a triangle there, it's going to have to be a decent triangle and then a push to the upside. Let's watch this. It's just going sideways, so you don't want to trade a ranging market. Wait for it to give us direction. Pound chief. Nothing but a bounce on pound chief. We'll expect this one to continue to the downside until we get a deeper corrective structure here. And then upside. Pound CAD. Pound CAD, we have got 1, 2. We can have this one coming back to retest the top here. And then downside. So these are 3 waves here within the structure on pound CAD. The 1, 2, 3. Then looking for upside to retest the top here, and we should see continuation to the downside. Pound Audi and Pound New Zealand, these are the trade setups that we'll be watching over the next couple of sessions. Looks like we've got a 3-wave structure on Pound New Zealand. Provided this stays below 50, guys, this is a trade setup. We can look to take a trade here when Pound New Zealand, then when this structure is done, then we'll look for this. Let's look at that corrective structure on the 1 hour. 4 hour looks to be giving us a nice setup. Okay, the 1 hour is above 50 on the RSI. We've got A, we've got B, we've got C. So in the lower degree, we'll look for this blue box here. Look to take 1% in that blue box. That's how we're looking at Pound Audi. You saw yesterday, I showed a video from 2019 detailing why we're expecting Pound to continue pushing to the downside. Check that video from yesterday. Pound New Zealand, we're looking at this one to give us a corrective structure. This is a 1, this is a 2, looks like a 3. We're still expecting continuation to the downside there. You can refer to yesterday's video as well. Euro pound. Let's go to the 4 hour. One, two, three. Wave bounced to around the 50% of this whole move. Expect at least this one, this euro ZAR. I'm not looking for euros, I'm looking for euro pound. So euro pound has broken out of that structure. At the end here, it's giving us what looks like a three-wave corrective structure. Is it going to give us one more down before we push to the upside, or we're going to go up from current levels? So just like euro, US dollar, let's watch this here at the top for a correction and then upside. We are resetting here already. We are already back retesting 50. So any continuation pattern there, you can look to take it around these levels. So Euro Audi and Euro New Zealand, we've gone through this in detail on the weekly as well. So we'll simply be looking for any setups for downside here. Any setup for downside, we'll take it. There's divergence here. Well, this made a move to the upside here. This looks like a setup for downside. So make note that the daily has not confirmed downside there if you get a 4-hour confirmation. But it's showing us a trade setup, a very nice setup. We're at the top and the RSI looks like it's gonna dip below 50 there. Euro New Zealand, I've shown this structure yesterday and how this can still push to the upside. Eventually, what we will be looking for is for this to continue down. No trade setup there. We're not really seeing much at the moment. Chima says a nest on Euro Audi. Which leg? Please just share the chat so I can understand. Maybe if you've got your chat, just put on your link there so I can see your view as well. Right. Because what I'm seeing here is three waves. I'm seeing these three waves on Euro Audi. Okay. And Euro New Zealand. Euro CAD. There's the bounce. Is that going to push up higher? RSI is below 50 here, and we are at the top. So that bounce may be short-lived, and then we make one more down. Let's just watch. We need to get a bit more data. Let's see here. If this is going to push to the upside, this will be our three-wave structure. And we'll look for this to close above here. And then we'll start looking to take the trades around these levels. 1 hour is showing us a setup, or rather 4 hour is showing us a setup for upside. We've got a move, we've got a correction, and then we're looking for this in the 4 hour. We are still above 50 and we are resetting here. So likely that we do push to the upside here. That is Euro CAD, Euro Chief. Euro Chief making one more down. Could we get this? Same way we got that. So at some point we'll expect Euro Chief to give us a pullback for entry to the downside before pushing up higher. Let me run through the crosses. Australian dollar, we've got a move here. We've got this here. Yesterday we focused that we're going to get around these levels. There's likelihood that we get a bounce at that level as shown yesterday. Then we'll have a structure like this. And then continuation to the upside. That is Australian dollar, New Zealand. Audi CAD. Audi CAD, as much as this looks like it's going to make a push to the upside, we'll be looking for continuation to the downside. The bigger structure is downside. The bias is downside. If this makes a continuation pattern here on the 4-hour, that will be a trade setup for downside. It's likely because we have already reset at the top and we're staying well below 50. So this is very bearish. New Zealand CAD, we were looking for this to do this. But we've got the 3 waves up. Looks like a 3. Can it give us another 3 waves before dropping? We'll just need to keep an eye on that. New Zealand Chief. Slowing down here. Nothing to really look out for there. CAD Chief. Continuation to the downside. We're at the top, we're below 50, so this should continue down. I'm not going to look at the indices, I'm going to go straight to the cryptos. The indices are still on the same trend, same structures. Let's just update the cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin currently hovering around all-time highs and around 59,000. Is this going to push above this? We need to see Bitcoin trade above this for us to confirm upside. So it looks like we've got this 3-wave pullback here. This can be a 1 more down. And then we look for that 5th wave to play out. As it is now, the RSI is still well above 50 and we are resetting again. So we're looking for Bitcoin to push up higher. Same thing, you can see the same structure on Ethereum. After making this 3-wave structure on Ethereum, this is what we're expecting, 1 more down and then upside. If you do not get 1 more down, that's fine, just let it go. So we're gonna have this one pulling back and then just continue straight like that, but the bias is upside. Litecoin, sideways. At current levels, couldn't get this, and then upside. And Ripple, looks like it's gonna have another leg higher. Look at the 4-hour, looking very good for another leg up higher. We're actually expecting this one to do 1 more down and then upside, but we may even get this one pushing up higher from current levels. Let's check out the chart of the week. This is the chart of the week. So last week we got it from around 0.68. We got it around here. Now we are simply looking for these 3 waves here and then a push to the upside. But it looks like these may be all the 3 waves and this could be ready for another leg to the upside. So that means that this will be then our wave 4. Okay. All right, guys, that's all for today. As you can see, there is nothing much. We will keep updating the charts and send trade setups whenever they confirm. All right, if there's no questions, I will end it here and Sandile will be with you at 11 a.m. GMT. Have a great day, guys. Cheers. Bye-bye.